Hello and welcome back to Penkitten Plays Banished Colonial Charter 1.7 Journey. We are back with the megamod, and this is actually going to be kind of a different episode style than usual. Mostly because, well, I've actually pre-recorded this video. You see, what happened was I was trying to record it, but unfortunately because of an update on my computer, my Bandicam had actually reset its audio so that it didn't pick up my mic. And of course, I can't have a video with no audio. I already tried that. Didn't do very well. And so I'm going to be speaking over what is going on the screen, trying to mix them back together in post. So right now I'm just kind of looking around at the screen, looking over at the rice planters, the rice paddies that are on the edge of the map that are going to replace the ones that are very close to town. I believe, yep, I'm going to take away, oh damn it, I keep forgetting about that enable zero build cost. So I'm going to put in some buildings, some barns, some housing to try and make this area up, try to get it productive, even though, because I've done 4 episodes already into this, and so I know what happens, I know what is coming, I know the hellstorm of death that is going to arrive in this series fairly soon, and I know that this area is not going to be nearly as productive as the rice planters that I already have built over in the city. Which is unfortunate, but at the same time, it is what it is. I mean, it's a bit difficult. I'm trying to run down this series, I suppose. I have heard rumors from my Discord group that we're going to do a Banished challenge pretty soon, hosted by One Last Midnight, like the last one was, that I wasn't a part of, and I think that would be a good time to start doing another series. I've been playing Banished on this channel for, geez, probably 5 or 6 of the 7-8 months I've been on YouTube, so it has been a mainstay for sure, and it's a lovely game. I really do enjoy it. So we're going back over to the city. I think, back to the slum of Little Nomadia. Oh, by the way, that's what I've been intending to call this in the video titles that I made in post, because I believe of a Night Ghost, I haven't actually seen it, series of Banished with the theme being nomads. And, yeah, I was calling that slum Little Nomadia. The citizens of the refugees of Nomadia come here to seek a better life. And here I go destroying the rice paddies, which will absolutely tank my food economy for quite some time. It's not very good. But it'll have to do. It'll have to do. You know, watching over the actual gameplay, it's a little boring, a little tedious. I wonder if watching it in real time is any bit more enjoying than just having to sit and watch random gameplay. Nice spinning move. I remember one of the people in the Discord group called my camera work style disorienting and rather dizzying. Let's see. Oh, I think this is the episode that I start building up that church. Might not be the first one. I think I push for it by the end, but I don't actually get it going. So right now I'm over. I need clothes. If you look up in the top left, clothes are a big problem, and I have a clothing store being built in the area by the docks. Down there. Down here. Not over where I'm pointing to. I'm not even sure what I'm pointing to. See, this is the problem of not being able to record at the right time. I still have a shit ton of workers at the moment. There's also an ant on my desk. I want to kill it. I want to kill it very badly. Be gone. What am I doing? Going through everything that I need. Good. Now, back over here to the farms. Ah yes, back to the dairy parlor, and to the orchards. Let's see, which orchard do I pick? I think, oh, I'm talking about the cows now. An orange grove there, a fig, and I think the last one I'm gonna pick an apple, even though it's not built yet. Oh, no it is, okay. Well, color me impressed. Now in here, I kind of like the setup of this, dairy slash food spot. You got your smoked meats, which I put in. Oddly enough, the smoked meats are bakery. We have the medieval creamery. I don't like that the medieval creamery has you pick specifically what you want, which I mean, I guess it's nice if you want some place to specialize in cheese or some place to specialize in cream, but I actually kind of want the one that just does random assortments. The Colonial Charter tends to have a bunch of buildings that just creates random assortments of their products when it comes to refining products. Now for the next little bit, I'm just going to be placing these wood dock 1x2 pieces to connect up the rice planters. It's going to be a very long time until I actually get around to making these places profitable, even though I don't even think they are ever profitable. They just kind of exist, but they need to carry the rice so far away that nothing really ever gets done with them. And yet, they have more down the river. Ironically, my citizens started with the furthest ones over. Oh well. Oh yeah, that's right, we still have a slight outbreak of tuberculosis from all those nomads. I completely forgot about that. Oh, and 22,000 food. That is not sticking around for a long time. Also 0 stone. I find it odd when I don't actually have to do the gameplay. I'm able to notice these things more easily. I'm pretty sure I just punch in the number for stone later. Okay. So I'm going to build some houses down by the docks. Going to pick the dock shanties. I picked dock houses before in the other section, but this is like a kind of like a medium area. It's not to the very end. It's not to any of the nodes. So I just kind of picked medium buildings. It's not very impressive, that kind of thing. Then I picked to... Oh yeah, the child who's starving. A 0-year-old child just walking and strolling around. That's actually one of the few things that I dislike about Banished as a game, is that it doesn't take its citizens very seriously. The citizens are just kind of there, and they don't have the best AI. And when they're born, they're suddenly now a child that can walk around on their own and get lost and die from starvation because they run too far away. Like, look, Sherilyn, the child, has died of starvation. Well, that's what happens when a 0-year-old child walks away. Right now, I'm looking at the possibility of putting a bank barn in over this corner. Yeah, there we go. I do eventually put in a bank barn here, although I don't know if I do it just yet. Yeah, I'm still trying. I'm still thinking about it. I'm not a very decisive person, you know. And I just leave it for now. I do eventually put that bank barn in, but I do some other things first. Still trying to focus my camera for some reason. Oh yeah, hey look. I put in some trees over by those corners. See them in the middle of the screen? I can't use my mouse to show them off. I think I just did. But I kind of like that, especially since I put them in the back. Ah, good, the colonial house. This is what I eventually put in here. But it takes me a little bit of time to figure out how exactly I want to do that. So I put in the corner house, but because the... how to put it? The imprint on the ground when you put those in are a little weird. They're a little janky, and they're not very good for finding out where you actually push to put a building. See, like that? For that building, the imprint's supposed to be that entire block except for one corner, but instead it cuts off a block short, so it just looks wrong. It's supposed to be there, but it's actually there. Get it? Also, goddamn, so many people are being born. Also, all those children basically end up dying. Spoiler alert for upcoming episodes, but just everyone dies. Which is actually probably a good thing. I have been having problems with the speed, although now that I'm recording this in post, I can say that I have purchased a new upgrade CPU, an Intel i7 CPU, and it is pretty fantastic. Now, if only my internet was not god-awful and I can actually do some work. But nope, that is not my life. So I put down the colonial house. What else? Put down... Come on, get it right. You know it in your chart? Yeah. Okay, I put that one too far back, so I need to go into a separate menu and cancel it out. Banished is a wonderful game, but its UI is subpar. And I don't think I can make people very mad by saying that. It's not as good as we all want it to be. Colonial townhouses. Putting them in. Now I put these in, I remember very specifically that when I was putting these in the game, I was talking about my time spent in England for a few weeks, England and Scotland, and how in the big cities, especially where space was tight, I would end up seeing those just kind of around. Just kind of the same house, row after row after row, because as the tour guide put it, it was very common for entire city blocks or entire city centers to just be designed by a single person, and that single person would set up a single design of house to be in one area, leading to situations where it would just be one house and nothing more. And some other houses. I remember in London there was a corner we stopped by that ended up with some artisan houses with large glass windows at the top because they thought that an artist needed to look out the window to find their muse and to get good sunlight during the day. Back in the Victorian period when they didn't have lights just yet. Alright, going back over, I think... Oh god, so many people being born. Back to the dairy parlor. Now this was actually a surprise for me. The milking barn does not require milk and cows present. They do not turn things into a creamery. They instead make milk and leather by themselves. Which makes me very curious about what their building requirements were, because if it's just like wood and stone, then that would just be free. There'd just be a series of food for stone instead of having to get something like domesticated animals or something else. Well, let's see. What am I doing? Oh yeah, I'm looking for the old dairy design, which is a bit blacked up at the moment for some reason. It looks a bit wrong, but I want that random creamery. It's what I was talking about before. That's the old dairy design. I think the updated old dairy design fits more in line with like the rundown city aspect of an old dairy, which I might be putting in somewhere else. I think I put that in somewhere near Colta in an earlier episode. But that's fine. It's fine. Now then, what am I going to do next? I'm stopping in to look at some of the rice. I think that was the theme of this episode, replanting the rice. And I think that's the thumbnail? Might be. Again, I'm not playing this game. I am watching it. Den Sorge. It's going to take a long time for these things to be built up. Probably... I'm not an expert when it comes to grape planting. However, I don't think it would work as a tree, where you have to grow it up over a series of time. I think it works better as a seasonal item, like any other crop in this game. Where you plant it one year, it grows up, and then you get to harvest it. But don't quote me, I'm not an expert. I do know that this game gets things like just about any fruit-bearing tree wrong, because you don't just plant seeds in the ground, wait for them to grow, and then collect the seeds. No, you need saplings. You need to be able to graft a already... You need to how to put it? And you need to graft a... piece of an already fruit-bearing tree onto a seedling, a sapling, of that tree grown from a seed. It's kind of weird to explain if you don't know it already, but the idea being that you need the exact DNA of a fruit-bearing, say, apple tree to be able to produce a fruit-bearing apple tree. And at this part in the video, I figure out that my stone is lacking, particularly because I'm trying to build the church and failing to do so. So I click on the stone button to take out this area, and now I prioritize it because I want it bad. And I believe I go in to start making the quarry over in this area. I still don't think it's been fixed by the time I stopped recording. I recorded 4 episodes in a row without audio, and that was horrible. So expect this for about the next week and a half. Copper mine, tin mine. Oh yeah, these copper mines. I like their design, but I don't really have much to do with them. Especially since copper and tin... I mean, tin might be good if I say want to put up a tinnery or tinnery factories. Maybe to kind of modernize my city. I just kind of want to grow it out, have fun. That's the point of this series. I remember when I first started the series, I had advertised it as a Banished roleplay in a similar vein to how I started my Jamestown series. However, then, especially around the time where I start building that city, start building the courtyard in that city, where it really just became more about making a cool looking thing. It was always kind of about that. Especially very early on when I made the mission, when I made the abandoned city, when I made the fort, when I made, what else, the small town and tried to do a bit of terraforming to make the, oh, what was it? The terraced farms. I think that's what they're called. So I'm putting in the tin mine, a tin ore mine over in this area. Salt and stone, already have that. Copper ore mine shaft. And the tin mine will go in here somewhere. And I believe I will also be cutting down all of the trees because it's a bit too, you know, it's a bit too foresty for a mining operation, in my opinion. Yeah, here we go. Cut it down. Also get rid of trees around the estate because why not? It's kind of weird how it works out where we have this nice regal estate next to all of the dirty, dirty miners. Back over at the church, I really want this thing to be built. I make some good stuff with this church, and I want it to be built. Also, my voice is starting to fail me. Speed it up, but not really. I wonder what this new processor is going to be like when it comes to speed. Also, I'm just cheating and hitting the button. Increase priority a few times. Ugh, gets so janky. She's not carrying stone, she's just carrying fish. Just gonna have to sit here and wait for this church. It was actually very nice. When I was in, I believe, Glasgow, because Glasgow was the city where I met up with Alt F4 and got tea with him. In Glasgow, it was this really super modern kind of industrial working city, but then in that, there was still its medieval roots with these cathedrals just on city blocks next to skyscrapers and glass-paned buildings. And it was just such a weird look to see this old medieval to Gothic cathedral next to some random business office. It was rather nice, and I actually got to perform in the St. Mary's Cathedral in Glasgow. It's a beautiful place. So what are we doing? I got sidetracked. What are we trying to do? I'm currently looking at all of the builders who are supposed to be doing this job. Most of them are pretty far out. Not too far. Just kind of going around looking for food, maybe? Doing something. Gotta keep my dock workers up because they're the ones who are going to be making that rice. They're not going to be nearly making as much rice as they were doing it down in the south. But that's fine. So I'm trying to push the game to make this church. 142 stone, so about halfway there. Come on. I know I'm not going to be able to get it in this episode. It happens in the next episode. Which I might just record kind of casually. Record and upload. I can upload at any time so long as my internet works. Blah. Like right now, my internet is doing this thing where it resets to box standard just settings, and I need to go in manually because the wireless just does not work. So I need to get a laptop, plug it in with the Ethernet cable, and go into their website and get some shit done. Reset it to be our settings, and it's just a pain in the ass. It's just a pain in the ass. But hopefully if I do that, my internet will start working properly again, and I'll be able to put this awesome CPU. It was an i7, like, what is it? I got the thing around here somewhere. Yeah. Core i7 unlocked, 7700K, 7700K, LGA 1150, 5-1. Oh, no, wait. Can't talk about how awesome my CPU is. It's almost time to end the episode. And with that, thanks for watching. If you like what you see, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.